Hi, I'm Tanner, and today I'm going to walk you through oiling some of our vegetable tan pieces. I have an assortment of colors here, and we'll show you what each one looks like. So, for these pieces, we let the dyes dry overnight, and then I'll just take some of my Neatsfoot oil, put it onto a lint-free cloth, and rub that cloth onto the surface of the leather. I'll wipe any excess oil off with an additional cloth. So I also have here today with me one of Amy's travel journals. Looks like she took this one when we went to Scotland, and you can see that the leather is still nice and supple and soft. It was probably oiled in maybe 2012. And she took one of our hand-bound journals. I probably would have taken a travel journal, but that's just me. Either way, this worked really well for her, and she's been enjoying it ever since. Alright, so let's get into oiling this first piece. I'll start off with the Neatsfoot oil here. Just going to put a little bit onto my cloth. A little goes quite a ways with this stuff. I just kind of like to blot it like this to get it to absorb in a little bit more quickly. And then I just start in on rubbing the surface of the oil, applying an even pressure and trying to get as full coverage as I can. I do oil the front and the back of these pieces. I find that the suede side does absorb it a little bit differently. You can use you can use a different oil on either side if you wanted to, and that's why I often keep a variety of oils on hand. Depending on the piece of leather, I will choose a different oil, or sometimes on the color or the type of coloring that we're using. So this looks like it's already pretty much worked in. It will need to sit for probably at least 24 hours before I start adding any other finishes, or before I start to go and assemble the piece. But as you can see, not much really came back off. This only lifted a little bit of the dye, which is one reason that I really like the Neatsfoot oil. I find that it doesn't really alter the look of the piece. It gets a little darker here, a little lighter here. That's kind of there's a little bit of marbling on there. That will go away over the next 24 hours predominantly, and then over time with use, that will kind of clear up as well and kind of just become a solid color. But I think that's part of the magic with vegetable tan leather, is that each piece is unique, and each piece kind of like staining wood. When you get the different features of the wood coming through, the different grains and that kind of thing, it can happen for any number of reasons. With leather, it could be from a grain correction when the leather is originally made, or it could be from an inconsistency in the thickness of the leather. So some parts might be thinner right here or here, and they may absorb the oil initially a little bit differently. And then also where we've done the tooling, it can cause it to go a little bit darker sometimes in the recessed areas, but that really just brings out the imagery, and that's advantageous, I think. So my next piece is a black piece, and I wanted to just show a little bit of what it looks like on a darker color when you put the oil on. Basically, it really doesn't alter the color, but it does deepen the color and make it richer. So I really like the way it kind of deepens the black on the black pieces. You can see already just the difference as I'm going along, and that's a really nice way to kind of finish the piece. We give a really nice finish once we've got the oils all set on both sides, and then add on the different finishes to really bring that color into this beautiful kind of luster. The reason that we put oil onto vegetable tan leather is that during the process of tanning the leather kind of dries a bit, and the oil adds moisture back into the leather and helps it over time retain that moisture, and that keeps it nice and soft. And it actually with vegetable tan leather, the more you use it, the softer it gets. So with time and use, your piece will get more and more kind of broken in, like a new pair of boots. It'll get softer and softer. Also, as the oil sets, the color will kind of come back to its original coloring, as I mentioned before. So the darkness, the highlights and lowlights will kind of even out, and then as well it'll prevent the leather from cracking in time. So that's also a very important part of the process when we're making our pieces, because we do want them to last. And so we'll add in this oil and different finishes to help prevent any cracking in the leather. So some people wanted to know how long this oil takes to set or dry. It's very dependent on the piece of leather. Sometimes the leathers are a little bit more moist when we first get them, relatively speaking, and so the oil doesn't take that long. It could be only 6 hours. Sometimes the tanning process may have dried them out a little bit more. I've seen it take up to even a month before the oils have actually set in the piece, but in every instance the oils are helping the leather out, and this piece I really needed to kind of work it in a bit more to get it nice and even. This was from a different tannery than the other two pieces. Beautiful stuff. And then with the tan color too, being a lighter color, I like to work it in so it's all nice and dark to start with. And then over the course of the next couple days here, that will start lightening back that kind of gorgeous, classic leatherwork look and feel with that type of coloring, which is exactly what we wanted for this particular piece, and for a beautiful kind of travel diary. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you found the video helpful. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to just post them in the comments below. And if you're curious to see more of what we do and some more behind the scenes and little process videos like this one, please subscribe to our channel, and you can always hit the notification button if you're very eager and waiting for our new content, and that'll notify you as soon as we post a new video.